Hey everybody, it's Shady here again, and no more than 2 days after my last video talking about live service games, we've had another games as a service game just die outright, which is Gundam Evolution. Yeah, so basically Gundam Evolution, to explain what the game is, was a hero shooter in the Gundam franchise. It's basically just Overwatch Gundam, best way to describe it. But yeah, so yesterday, Bandai Namco just announced that Gundam Evolution is ending its service in November, meaning the game has only been supported for a year, essentially. So yeah, so obviously this game was free to play, and you basically had to pay for like heroes and get loot boxes for different items and stuff. So, you know, there's people who've obviously sunk a lot of money into these games who just gonna have nothing to show for it. And then this is my issue with games as a service and why this trend just needs to die at this point. Like, it's just ridiculous. Like, these developers, all they think is, oh, let's just quickly get something out here. What franchises have we got? What can we, coat of paint can we slap onto the same tired bloody games as a service that are out there? So, instead of actually thinking, how can we apply this game to an online game that would make sense? Let's just quickly make an Overwatch clone. You know what I mean? It's like, what was the point? Like, it was obviously gonna fail. Because I don't think, like, Gundam is a popular franchise, but, like, the games have pretty much always been, like, single-player type games. And, the mech combat, they've always been almost either, like, some sort of fighting game or almost an Armored Core-ish type game. Not quite to that extent, but you know what I mean? Yeah, because Gundam's known for its story. So I think Gundam fans want that represented. Obviously, they've done, like, the Heroes games, like Warriors types games as well. But yeah, it's just, it doesn't lend itself well to that. So it just makes no sense. No wonder why it's dead. And I really feel like this games as a service stuff just needs to stop because, there's tons of these games. Like I said in the last video, there was The Last Soldier, which lasted about a year as well. Babylon's Fall lasted like 6 months. And like, there's so many of these other games that they just shit them out and then expect them to make like billions or whatever. You know what I mean? They see how much some of these other things like, GT Online or, Fortnite, Genshin Impact, all these other games that, the hundreds of millions these games make, they just want the same thing. But the thing is, with those games, they keep players' attention. You have to actually, like, consider the player's time and what enjoyment they're going to get out of it. Because, I haven't actually played the game myself, but from what I've heard, it was really terribly balanced. So no wonder why people don't want it or want to play it, you know what I mean? Back in the day, to sound like an old man now, we used to get games that would have, a full single-player campaign, and then they'd have a separate online aspect that didn't require you to always be online and could even be played, it could be played offline with bots or split screen. Let's go back to bloody Halo. Look at Halo 3, for example, on the 360. Like, we had a full freaking, like, I don't know, what, an 8-hour campaign, an amazing campaign. And then you have, like, all of these different match types. 16 players online, you can either do deathmatch, team deathmatch, all these other modes. You had the Forge, where you could create your own maps. And then, you could just do split screen full player, system link, all these other things, so the game could still be alive after. And that's the issue. It's like, games as a service, the always online requirements that these games have, it basically means that once the server shut down, it's dead. Because the thing is, you have to, there's so much back end on these games, They have to put a lot of money into developing them, having the servers and having them constantly patched and updated and everything. So it's just, these games have to make their money back quick, and they have to have a steady enough stream of income and an increased amount to sustain themselves. And, if they don't get that, if they don't capture this audience straight away, they're pretty much dead, especially when there's so many of them out there, and there's better ones out there that people rather play. Not the same type of game, but look at Genshin Impact. Like, that's a sort of a story-driven, fun little adventure game, where, you know, you have, like, obviously it's a gacha type game, so, you know, you have to sort of draw for characters or whatever, or you know, it's like a lucky dip almost to get the characters, which I don't like that necessarily, but you don't have to do any of that, and you can play these games without needing to interact with anything like that. Obviously, it's always online and blah blah blah, but still, it's like you can have fun with that game without having to touch anything. Same with Fortnite. Like, you're just buying skins, so you don't need any of that. You can just have the basic skin if you want, or just buy one or two, you know, whatever. It doesn't cost that much. Just, you know, play the game if you want. Thing with that game is like people want to play that game. They offer loads of different modes, and they even have a no build mode now and all sorts of stuff. And, you know, people can create their own games and everything. You know, there's a lot. You know, there's a lot of user engagement in that game, so people want to spend their money on it. And they always have good promotions, you know, with whatever latest movie or blah 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 it is, so it keeps people interested. Whereas something like this is just, you know, Gundam and the anime community, that's kind of a niche audience as it is. So, you know, you're kind of setting yourself up to fail, really. Especially when that audience, you know, they're used to having story-driven games in the first place. They don't really necessarily care for online stuff. So I just don't get it, really. And I really feel like it just needs to end now. I'm kind of going around in circles, but you get my point, don't you? You know, can we go back to just, instead of just following trends and trying to get as much money as we can out of players and making everything online early, can we just go back to making, just like when it comes to these games, just a good single player game that gives us an option to go online? Or if it's going to be an online only game, you know, make sure it's a game that people want to play. Make sure it's just not built around having to have a store and try to get money out of people. You know, it's not hard. And you'll find that people will want to play a game if it's enjoyable. Like, when I think of Gundam, you know, instead of a hero shooter type of thing, you know, I would think, you know, I think sort of battles and stuff, like either one-on-one battles or, you know, sort of big warfare or something. Like, something like Battlefield would make more sense. That's type of a game where you have two armies fighting against each other. You could even have it all, you know, play more like a Titanfall or something, where you're just using your normal soldiers, and then you can bring out your Titans or your Gundams in this case. You know what I mean? It's just, you know, just think, people, developers, publishers, you know, don't think about how much money you can make. Think about the enjoyment you can bring to your player base, and then the money will come after that, you know. But anyway, that's it. Anyway, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and like and subscribe if you happen to see this video. And yeah, hopefully I'll catch you in the next one. Have a great day.